Hi, Taurus rising sign. Here is your weekly forecast starting on the 23rd of February until 1st of March. We've got an interesting week. You have got an out-of-bound moon in your first house, making a conjunction to Uranus, and that can make you act completely out of character. You might be shocking others, and you can be shocking yourself as well, or you might impulsively change your look or your brand. But Atlantis entering your 11th house this week, and that could be revealing which friendships or networks are kind of like sinking here, or which long-term goals. And maybe you stop trying to save a community that doesn't align with your ethics anymore. Now we've got the Mars and Uranus square happening this week as well, which can be kind of like a mic drop moment at work. Maybe everyone is anxious. Maybe there is a total chaos going on or something getting upgraded, a total change, even in your professional directions. But let's just break this down a little bit more. You have got a Sun and North Node conjunction happening in your 11th house, and I can imagine that you are meeting a person that is meant to be. Maybe it happens online or in a large group settings, but it feels destined. Maybe the person has got kind of like a Gemini characteristics, or the person has got a certain type of information that you have been seeking. It's kind of like the missing puzzle. With that Mars Uranus square, that somehow disrupts your social circle, though. But you can use the Pisces sun to stay compassionate while, the group is maybe in a little bit on a fire. Or I can even imagine that you are ready to formalize a commitment to a potential goal of yours. That would be coming from the Venus and Juno sextile. Talking about that Venus and Juno sextile a little bit more, this could be a friendship that turns, for example, into something more of a formal business alliance. So you sit down with a friend of yours, let's go through certain type of material, studying together, and so forth. I can even imagine you investing in a long-term educational goal, or you're ready to buy a ticket with a friend of yours. Or I can even imagine that a mentor offers you a certain type of a contract. Um, Obviously, that might be necessary in a way, or it would be good, because maybe that would be helping to calm down your out-of-bound moon in the first house, which is, of course, disposed by Venus, of course. Now, on top of that, I would say that, with the Chiron and series, it's about, nurturing a secret pain you have been carrying in your subconscious. And I think this is about time for a bit of a therapy, a bit of a shadow work, looking at those lingering feelings and potentially giving them names as well. Maybe it's realizing that you have got certain type of kind of like enemies, self-sabotaging patterns. But maybe these hidden enemies are the unhealed parts of yourself that needs more of a courage to kind of face it. And of course, kind of like a dream or a meditation can give you the insights that you need, potentially into your family patterns, for example, and you are ready to finally break it. Because Ceres is a mothering archetype, and the pain of the mother, which is affecting your subconscious, and that's the 12th house there. Also, I can imagine with Mars and Uranus square, which is triggering your 10th and first house, you can be acting out, for example, at work, shocking the boss, snapping at the boss, or the boss is acting out of their kind of like character. You can feel that urge to change your career path as well, or to make changes in your brand kind of like overnight because you want to be reflected as a real you. And yeah, this could indicate some clashes with coworkers, authority figures, because you are kind of like not in the mood for bosses or rules when, for example, out of bound moon is in your first house. Now, that's going to be happening in the 23rd and the 24th, but the Mars Uranus square is going to get activated around the 20. Seventh the most. Um, Niobe enters Pisces, which is actually your 11th house. And I mean, this could indicate a friend of yours who is boasting about their professional titles, about their reputation, about how intellectual they are. And then it could leave a little bit of a bitter taste in your mouth, but you can also do the same. And then they are kind of like, getting angry because of that. Or maybe a career milestone, but it feels a little bit hollow. Or maybe you start seeing changes in the industry as well, and then you realize that you have to be changing with the trends as well. Or again, this potentially could talk to us about you trying to find more authentic connection with others. Or I can imagine that a project that you have been working on might have started sinking a little bit. And that's the reason why we need certain type of changes. And of course, we've got these out of bound moon triggers. Now, let me just tell you that I highly recommend listening to the general forecast that I made because obviously I'm giving you the dates there, the degrees there, and so forth. And those are super important. And some of these predictions are important when they trigger something in your natal chart. So that's why it would be important to know the degrees. And I'm also curious to hear how you feel about the eclipse season. Obviously, it started, so do let me know how it feels, how it triggered you. And on top of that, I would like to invite you to join my membership community. Now, the first month is half price if you would like to test it out, how it works, whether you like my teaching style. And then after you can decide if you would like to remain with me. But with these out of bound moon energies, it's going to start in your first house. So it's kind of a wild card energy there. And your physical presence can be quite electric and people may find you quite unpredictable or you can be super intuitive, like all-time high intuitive right now. Then that's the 23rd and the 24th. And then the 25th, 26th, the moon is outbound in your second house. And that could be quite erratic fluctuations when it comes to your finances. You can find weird ways to make money, and also you can spend it kind of on gadgets or books and courses and stuff like that. And then the last couple of days, the next couple of days, Moon is going to be in your third house. And this could really talk to you about an emotional release, an emotional communication with someone. This is about even feeling the words of others or you being able to use the very right words to kind of hit the core hit the core of the person. Now, the moon is pretty much finishing its out of bound period with Jupiter. And moon is in rulership, Jupiter is exalted. So, what I would like to mention about it is that finally this could even settle certain type of arguments that you might have had at the beginning of the week if we are able to sit down and then talk about how we actually feel. So, this is pretty much the weekly energy pattern for you. To kind of give you a bit of a summary, I think what it feels like is that there's a lot of emotional experience happening. I think with Mars, for example, ruling your relationship department, this could be an argument with a partner, for example, over career and what we have achieved and where this relationship is leading. But with that Venus, Juno, Venus and Mercury conjunction, this could really talk to us about that it's time to make that relationship somehow richer by attending community events or meeting up friends, working on intimacy departments. And of course, that Chiron and Ceres conjunction might be talking to you about self-parenting, such as taking more seriously, like getting rid of certain type of bad habits, obsessions, and so forth. I would say that Mars and Uranus surely would like to restore something within you. and maybe that you get the authentic self of yourself back. And I'm going to be standing up for myself if I feel kind of like attacked. I think moon being out of bound is really inviting you to get in touch with your feelings. Like, what do I feel about myself? What do I have got to share with others? The danger of out of bound moon, especially with Jupiter, that we share way too much. Also, just watch out for this shopping stuff, for example, with Moon in the second house. But you can find super good bargains as well with that, though, especially when Moon is in a beautiful trine to Pluto. So, good luck, Taurus rising sign, and I will see you next week. Take care. Bye bye.